Oh, and I need to ask. Somebody already knows about this and has learned about it. So I got on the rabbit hole of the fifth sun. And I was actually looking for any lore, myths, stories, beliefs. So if anybody knows anything about that, let me start with that on the fifth son of the fifth son. I know within magic communities, and even if you've read the book Septimus Heap or that series, it's the seventh son of the seventh son. So fifth son of the fifth son, literal like lineage. If you know anything about that or have any resources, I tried looking. I didn't look very long. I haven't been able to find anything. Let me know, please. Send it to me, put it in the comments below. I would love that so much. So, as I was looking that up and I couldn't find what I was looking for, then it led me to the fifth sun, S-U-N, instead of S-O-N. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. Let me start reading. And it's talking about the fifth sun belief that the Aztecs and the Nahua have. And it's involving Quetzalcoatl and the other four other sons or gods. Or, so real quick, on that note, then Quetzalcoatl, and, forgive my pronunciations and all of this, then we know is a ship, right? Like that there's this idea, how about I back that up, okay, before people come from a neck, that there's an idea that any depictions that are of birds, like especially if we're looking at hieroglyphs or if we're looking at hieroglyphs from Aztecs and from natives and indigenous people and Mayans and these people who knew things, well before we did, um, that that anytime we see a depiction of a bird, that it was quite literally an actual ship or spaceship or travel or whatever you want to call. So following that theory and that line of thinking, that then that means, and they were talking about, so, and I'm paraphrasing what I just read. So for those of you that know this, or this is your belief, or this is your knowing, like, love this. So I'm super paraphrasing where I'm at, and I'm asking questions. Again, if you've got, give them. So then these five sons, right, that I'm thinking, obviously. Okay, that if each of them are ships, then they're representing a people, let's say. Let's go with that theory, this idea, right? And that these ships are large enough, start thinking about the Titans, think about the gods, think about these stories of these giants and these great beings, right? Again, this would also be following the thought and the idea of the knowing that ETs were here, that giants roamed the planet, whether or not they were all from external places or from inner Earth, which then also means, are they all from external places? Because the portal that's inside of the inner sun, that's in inner Earth, that is also a portal, because all sun and stars are portals, whether they're two-way portals or not. So then, taking this idea and thought, is that we know that not all portals that all portals can go in one direction, but doesn't mean that they can go both directions, meaning you can't always use that one as a two-way mirror, I was about to say. Interesting. So then it's, how there's a balance and a reflection of everything, the law of mirrors, law of duality, whatever you want to call it, right? So then, you know how we know that the sun and the moon are each other's like balancers? That's what we use as far as in our world of duality. Then two thoughts. One is, what if then the moon, you know how we only see one side of the moon? So then there's this other theory and idea that I love that was just in a movie that was released not that long ago, on the moon being an actual ship. And that's why we can't see the other side of it, because our moon doesn't act like other moons that spin and rotate like other planets, or, do like that, where we can see all sides of it depending on, where it's at in the the stuff. Okay. Isn't it interesting that we can only see one side of our moon? So there's this idea, if you didn't know it, and for plenty of you that did already, is then it's a ship. And that's why we can't see it. And then on the other side, or the dark side of the moon, then is where all the civilizations and, hi brain, let's go, buildings, people, stuff, whatever, beings, whoever, right? Things is on the other side. So let's take that idea, however, or whatever. Um, I was thinking, what if, quite literally, the moon is so hold on one second, let me back up. So portals, sun, if the sun and stars, if those are portals, then there's also then a dark side of a portal, black holes, right? If the sun or the portal is the white hole or the light, then the other side is a black hole. That's also within a theory or an idea. So then I was thinking, wouldn't that be interesting then if the moons are quite honestly then the opposite, and they are the representation of the black, like of the dark side of the sun, and that's why we can only see one side of the moon. I know that's blending a couple theories, but I thought it interesting, amusing. Has anybody else had it or thought it? So taking that a step further, that if we know that sun and stars or circles or spheres are portals, all circles and spheres are portals. That's an idea. If we know that at the very least, if we know that sun and stars are portals, okay, and we know then that the moon, and it showed it in this video. And hey, if you know the movie that I'm talking about, oh my God, right? Spit it out. The movie that just showed the ship that the moon is an actual big ship. It and ships. We know this. We know that our ET fam and that they all have ships, and they have obviously wonderful tech that we don't have yet. They've been here, they've been here for a minute. Okay, so we already know that, and then and they're traveling with their anti-gravity and how that they've got their 0 point gravity and all that fun stuff. Then they create their own portals. Not only then are they being able to use the different stargates, right? Literally stargates. The portals that they are to time travel or to travel in space or in the universe, space and time, or, ships, then they also have learned how to create their own, much like Tesla and lots of other people, and some of like these nuclear power plants and reactors that open portals, the ones that are under the water, all kind of fun stuff. Those are more videos and musings. If you've got information on it, please send it. So anyway, then it's this idea then that if the moon is a ship and it can generate its own portal, so all ships are then portals also, like we're not man-made, but being made or whatever. And we know that people can open up portals and activate them and do all of that fun stuff, right? Certain words open ones. You have to do certain things. We know that, like abracadabra, right? That's not like some made-up thing. Anybody know more about this? So then I was thinking then suns could be ships. And in the fifth sun, back to the thing that I was reading on this native belief, this knowing, or the story of what happened in history, then they talked about how each of these gods, Quetzalcoatl, was like over, and it said presided over the West, and is for light, purity, and dreams, wind. Yes, bless. So that's what that he was over. And a lot of times we misinterpret how we're reading things as gods as a person versus a ship representing then even a people coming from a place. Okay, so you follow me there? More information on that, please give it to me. I'm reading and looking at a lot always, us seekers. So then the sun. What if? So then it was talking about then in the fifth sun that each of these presiding, that they started fighting amongst each other. Because I was reading about the population of the earth, and if we had the larger earths, and each of these suns or these gods, or rather these ships, or these populations of peoples, at one point one of them destroyed, right? They each destroyed these different versions of humans, or different versions of humans that we had on our planet, and through blood. And one of them, the humans came and nope, didn't like it, and they got burnt off. And then the next creation, there was a great flood, but it was of blood, and then they became fish. So that's where fish and like mermaids would have came from. And then one of the gods, Quetzalcoatl, went back down to like kind of the underworld, retrieved the human bones, dipped his blood in them, breathed them new life, and then that's the newer version of humans that we have. Again, total paraphrasing, and forgive me for chopping the crap out of that. I know that I did. I only read it once, literally, and then I got excited because I wanted to know who knows about this instead of me trying to sort this out all by myself. So again, if you've got information, please correct and offer. Yes, let me, I want to learn. So that this is the current version of Humans, which this would explain a whole lot. So I'm really excited to look at this more and actually finish reading the thing that brought me to this. And I've got to figure out, I'm going to start doing this in a little bit better of a setup where I can look at my computer at how I rabbit hole, so then I can take you with me, and then some of you can help me course correct in that moment, or offer what you know, and then we can do this together if anybody's down for that, for these musings, or again, teach me. So it is then the presiding over the West. So what if it were a ship? What if it were a people? And it was talking to them about them fighting. And what if that were a literal war? And then it was talking about their ships being large enough. We got to think on a larger scale, kind of like my other video that I just did talking about the giant tree theory and about the Earth. What if the Earth was actually bigger and we're shrinking versus expanding? Because then, and not versus, and that, you know, theories, opposite theories, that it would both have to be happening at the same time. So anyway, does anybody know about this? So then that the suns all would be ships, the moons would also be ships, as well as all of them are portals, as well as then Earths, because we also have a portal. So like, I'm trying to then, I want to see where then Quetzalcoatl, that ship, where did those peoples come from? What star gate, or, you know, what was their original planet? Because just because they might have been fighting over a sun or called suns, then we know that suns are portals. So then that means it's a going to a place from another place. What place were then they actually from, if not from a ship? If Quetzalcoatl and these other gods and many other gods or other theories, beliefs, myths, and legends that we have, then if we interpret it through this lens, that all things that were talked to be as birds or as flying things were actual ships, then that means it's a ship representing a people, not a god, and not then just one person for that matter, but a people. So then that means they would have came from somewheres, right? Got any info? Let me know. This is, you know, Sabrina Seeks. You followed me with Sabrina Speaks, and now you're following me with Sabrina Seeks. And for those of you that are seeking with me, that are always asking questions of the universe and how does this all work, and our origins and the star seeds, and you know, how does this all work in harmony together? Because it does. And instead of fighting that, then let's learn about it. I want to learn all the magic. I want to learn. Again, I am a seeker, and I'm here to help raise the consciousness of the planet. And the best way that we're going to be able to do that is with the help of each other and with the team, and being able to bring all of our gifts together and be able to have a real talk. So teach me, please. I'm not just the teacher, right? Teachers are the students, or the teachers are the students. I love this. Thanks, everyone. Have a fabulous day.